on today's podcast, we celebrate Jeanette's successful membership site and talk about how she quit her job.
Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. Join us each week as we teach you how to flip your lifestyle upside down by selling stuff online. Are you ready for something different? All right, let's get started.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. Great to be back with you again this week, and super excited because this week we are celebrating a success story from our Flip Your Life community. We have a member on today who successfully launched her membership site, got a ton of members, and was able to quit her full-time job. We are welcoming back today from episode 55, Jeanette Stein. Jeanette, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. What a fun podcast.
I know, right?
Of course. Yes. This is my favorite kind of podcast for sure. I love the success stories. I love bringing people back on and talking about where they have gone since the last time we talked to them. So we're super excited to talk to you today.
Thank you. I'm very excited. It's always fun to talk about the fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, yeah. So let's start out by just reminding everyone about your background and where you were sort of then.
Sure. So I have a website that I created about, 5 years ago now. It was about 4 years ago, last summer, that supplied lesson plans and help for Algebra 1 teachers. And I wasn't getting very far before I joined the community last June. I also have 6 children, 4 still at home. And that
always blows my mind when you say that. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like every time you say that, I'm like, oh my God, I have no excuse not to do anything every day. So,
well, that makes sense, but it also totally motivated me.
For sure.
Because I wanted the freedom. And, like last night, for example, my little guy, my youngest, got sick, and it was no big deal. You know what? So what? We just slept in and we snuggled, and I didn't have to worry about calling in and writing lesson plans. So, but last year, this time, it would have been really hard. So
sure.
I was teaching full time up till last June, and I really wanted to break free of that and be able to be around more for my kiddos. So this has been fabulous.
So before you started with us, I know you discovered us around June and you joined the Flip Your Life community. You said you had been online for a long time. What did it look like before that? Like you'd been doing the blog for a long time, trying to sell some things. Were you making any money, or were you selling one-off products? Like, just remind the listeners what you were doing before Flip Your Life.
Yeah, sure. I was selling one-off products. I was mostly, I didn't have any sort of pay on my site. So I was using like Teachers Pay Teachers.
Right.
And then I had one course that I kind of put out there, and I had made a little bit of money from that.
Sure.
But it was just a one-time thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, what happened then, like after, like what was the biggest difference then? Because, you had been in it for a long time. We hear a lot of people come in and they're like, I've got this product. I've been doing this forever. There's probably a lot of people listening like that can really relate to that. Like, you're doing what the experts say to do. You're writing these blog posts. You're selling something. So what was the big change, do you think, like after you joined the community? What did you do differently that allowed you to create like an income that you could quit your job with?
Oh, that's so easy. It was direct focus,
right.
Focusing in one direction. So that was the biggest change, because I was like worried about Twitter followers and Facebook likes and how to do this. And then I'd be swayed by, I should work over here and I should do this. And I was just so directed in so many places that nothing got done.
Right.
So once I put on, started using the action forums, that changed everything. And kind of cracks people up, because I've got like this huge thread of what I'm doing every day. I want to print it off like my book, my action plan. But
that'd be an awesome book.
It keeps me focused.
Right.
It keeps me so focused. And if I get off track, you or, Jocelyn's always on there cheering me on. And you guys are both just, no, this is the way we got to go. And this is what you should expect, and keep moving. So if something didn't work out exactly right, it's not like I felt like it was a waste of time.
Right.
It probably just needed a small tweak. But before, when I was by myself, I didn't know that. And so I would just be going and then I just completely switch directions and lose all the momentum. So now it's like all the momentum was going in one direction, and it was just fabulous.
Yeah, for sure. I usually don't like a super long thread in a forum, but like I actually really like yours.
Yours is hilarious. It's awesome. It's like a year of madness.
And it's such
like,
an awesome
just
journey. Like the other day I was commenting on it, and I sort of went back up through some of the older posts, and I'm like, whoa, she has really come a long way. Like, this is awesome. So yeah, it's really, really inspiring.
It's one of the, we can definitely point back in our journey as well and know that the biggest thing that probably made us successful was, we would go and be with other people. They would help us determine that direction. And we would, just like you said, we would get on the railroad tracks and go straight at full speed ahead, because if you don't do that, you can do a lot of things bad, or you can do one thing really, really good. So it's really important to have that direction and motivation. What was the direction, though, that you said you really latched onto something and you focused on it and you went forward and you just built your business around that? Like, what allowed you to have that financial success? What was the thing that you did grab onto and focus on attacking after you joined the community?
So when I joined the community, I kept thinking, I'm going to create this, and I'm going to create this, I'm going to sell this. And then within like a week, you and Jocelyn pretty much just set me straight and said, no, put it all in one spot. Let's get a membership, and let's get everybody paying you monthly so you have a recurrent income, and let's move this forward. And so within 4 weeks, I had almost 50 members, and the thing was rocking and rolling. And so it was just overwhelming. It was so wonderful. So that's kind of where we were at the first time I came on the podcast.
Yeah, the first time that we talked to you, you had about 55 members, which to do that, to create that membership site in 4 weeks and have 55 members, I mean, I can think of probably thousands of people out there who are listening to this that are like, whoa.
How did she do that?
That is amazing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you exactly how she did it, because she's an action taker. Like, it was like the Energizer Bunny rolled up in the Flip Your Life community, and just everything we said to you, you were like, I did that. And I'm like, I thought that was going to take you a week. And you're like, no, I just stayed up all night. I got up at 4 a.m. I knocked it out. I crushed it. So what's next? Like, that was awesome.
Yeah, when you can get up at 4 a.m., 3 hours before any of your children move, that is the best way to work.
That is the best.
If you are trying to do this with a plethora of children, that is the best way to do it.
4 a.m.
Because by the end of the day, you're brain fried.
Right, exactly.
I could get 5 times more done between 4 and 7 than I could ever do in an evening. So, yeah, but that was huge for me. And then just being able to take that momentum and go with it.
Right.
And it felt like once things started slowing down, then the next big push came, because we were heading to Tampa. And that was like the timing of all of these things has been perfect for myself.
So what Jeanette's talking about is Jeanette joined the community around June, and then we had a live event in Tampa in October. And so had you quit your job before that? Before you came to Tampa? Yes. So let's back up before we get to Tampa, because this is fascinating. Because I remember you sending us messages going, hey, so how did you guys quit your job? And I'm like, what is she doing? And we had a big discussion about it, and I didn't know if you were going to do it or not, because you were kind of on the fence.
And we never really give an opinion or no. We just talk about our experiences,
Yeah. So what made you draw the line in the sand and quit your job? What was the what made you think to do that? Because it was still a little early in your journey. You weren't totally. You had a membership, but it wasn't totally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. What made you make that call to just go for it?
Well, the first time I did the first podcast, that was in the middle of July.
Right.
By the end of July, I was I think less than $80, less than $10,000 in that July.
Okay.
For my launch. And in Michigan, cost of living is not the same as a lot of the country. I think ours is pretty similar in Kentucky and Michigan.
For sure.
I'm not in the city. So, our cost of living is pretty low, and it was growing, and it was growing quickly. And then I did almost the same in August. So it was really overwhelming, to just go from making, I think, $1.70 from Teachers Pay Teachers to, doubling my salary. And so it, my husband and I just kind of thought, we're going to take a hit, and you might not make as much as you did last year, but for the kids and for our sanity, we got to do it.
Yeah.
We got to do it. And so we kept sitting on the fence, though, for a while. And then all of a sudden we were just like, you just have to jump sometimes. You just have to be faith, and we are Christians. We do have faith. And and we prayed on it and jumped. And,
Awesome.
Exactly.
And we've landed on our feet. We're okay, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've been able to match our income. You know, I've been able to match my income this year. So I think that's a pretty darn good first year.
For sure.
Yes, for sure. That's why I really love working with you so much, though, is because, I mean, you actually remind me a lot of us because we did a lot of the same things. You know, people looked at us and basically said we were crazy for wanting to do this. But like when we decided to go all in, we went all in and like we were going to make it work. But there were no two ways about it. Like it was going to work.
I can remember talking about the thread where you were talking about quitting your job, and we were like, you know, we don't ever tell anyone to quit because we don't know everything. We don't know all the A's, you know, A plus B equals C, right? But I can remember saying, I laid out the cons and the pros and the risks and the rewards, and I can remember like talking about how, you know, if you've done this with your part-time income, what could you do with your full-time if you were doing this all the time? And you know, sometimes there is a time where you've just got to say, hey, I got to the edge. I've got to jump and see what happens. And it's never going to be as bad as you think. Like it's scary, but you could always go back. You could always do something else. So it's like, it was amazing watching you just take that leap of faith and saying, you know, 3 months ago, I made $1.70 on my online business, but now I'm not. So I'm going to try to push this to the next level.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic ride. I've loved every minute.
Let's go on and jump up to the live event in Tampa, because that's where, to me, like it was. You've all, like I said, you're the Energizer Bunny. You just always are going. You're always taking action. It's just incredible to watch. You inspire us. But like, what was the thing about the live event in Tampa that was like the next, you know, gasoline on the fire? That we got the spark, we got the fire. What took it to the next level?
What made you decide to do the live event? Because I know at that time, like you had just quit your job, like, you know, that might have been a little questionable because it's not cheap to go to live events. But what pushed you over the edge and made you decide to do that?
Well, there was a couple of things there. First, you announced it at the end of July or early August because it was right around my husband and I's 10-year anniversary. So we were traveling when you announced it, and he said, "You've got to go. Like, these people have helped you grow your business." You know, he's basically would ask me every day, "What did Shane and Jocelyn tell you to do today?" You know, like
That's hilarious.
It is. But he said, "You've got to go." Even if you're still, you know, at that point we hadn't really decided I was quitting yet.
For sure.
We were thinking about it and praying about it, but it wasn't decided. He said, either way, even if you have to like use all your personal days or call in sick or whatever, you've got to go. Like this, you've got to go. The other thing is I wanted to be surrounded. I wanted to be in that environment. I wanted, you know, to be able to hug you and say thank you. And, you know, all those things were super important to me.
Yeah.
But just being around everybody, it helped me more than I even thought. I remember calling my husband at lunch and I had a little cold and he was worried that I wouldn't, you know, I said, my money's already been made up. Like, I think I was the last one to go or the second to last one to go during the mastermind that day.
Right.
I'm like, this money's already been made.
Yeah.
Like,
because you learn so much from everybody else too, you know?
Yes. And just to be able to hang out and talk business with people who understand the fear and the successes and celebrate with you. And, you know, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It was the perfect timing because, you know, all the summer sales for teachers were kind of slowing down and things were slowing down a little bit. And I was getting that little bit of panic, you know.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I got faith, but I am human.
The entrepreneurial dip we experience about 3 times a week.
Yes. And I was really in that a little bit in October. And so the timing was just perfect. So I came back and I was just on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And
you
it took
killed
off
it.
after that.
Yeah, that was enough. And you came back and took action on everything we talked about. And like, I think you like gave yourself a bulleted list. Like, okay, here's the other 19 people's things. I'm going to do those too. And I'm going to do the thing they told me. So by January, you were just ready to just rock out the back to school after Christmas break and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. January was phenomenal too for me. Yeah.
You know, that's just an amazing story. Like, I love live events because, like, we do them for the same reason. Like, we go to live events because, number one, like, you have some pressure when you're going to show up at a live event because you don't want to be the one there that's like, yeah, I've not done anything in 6 weeks and, you know, I'm kind of just floating here. No, like, you take massive action before the live event, like, to get to a point where you can ask a, you know, question or figure out what to do next. But then when you come out of a live event, it really is like skydiving. I mean, that's what it feels like. The high, the excitement, the energy that you have. I remember we went to one in Asia and we literally sat on an airplane for 12 straight hours.
Because there was no internet.
And we had a notebook and pencil, and we just wrote plans the whole 12 hours. Because we were so fired up, and I'm sure you probably felt the same way. Because you're from Michigan, I mean, you flew all the way to Tampa. To go to this. You know what I mean.
You actually hit everything in a really good time. As far you're talking about timing, because on that plane ride home, we decided to change all of our businesses to memberships, and that was like in May
Asia.
of 15.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like we would not have even if we had not went to our own high level live event, you would not have got what you got at that high level live. See, it's all just full circle. It just all works full circle, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. Thank you for going to Asia.
That's hilarious. So, like, what are the most important steps that you think, like, if you could give, because that's what people love success stories. They're awesome, but people want their success story. They want their journey to end up like yours, like ours, like other people's. So, like, what do you think, like, maybe 3 of the most important tips you have that you could just throw out there? Things you did, steps along the way that can help people who are out there hustling and trying to make this work be more successful, like online?
Yeah, I think definitely find a community, like your community. If I'm not around, I've had people email me, hunt me down on my website and email me and be like, Jeanette, you haven't been posting. Like, your going for the profit thing has been dead for a little bit. Get on there, and call me out. I've had 2 or 3 different people do that, which I love. I mean, thank you. You need community. You need to be around people you can celebrate with. Like, I love your success forums, and you need to celebrate. And I would tell everybody, no matter what community you're in or you have or you find, celebrate your wins, especially when you're first starting, because you need the small wins to build up.
Yeah, the thing that gets me in that forum too is like, I might not have a win. I've had days where I'm like, man, nothing's going right. But I go in there and I'm like, I see those other people having wins, and I'm like, okay, back on track, because it's just a bad day, and I know tomorrow is going to be my day to post in the forum and inspire somebody else. Awesome.
Yes.
So community, what would be like another tip that you could give people, like what to do?
Consistent focus. I keep a list of what I'm working on, and I don't go to the next thing till the top one is done, because I find my split focus just keeps me from getting anywhere. So I only, I put the bullets in my forum, in the membership every day, every couple days, and I work on it from top to the bottom. And I don't deviate from that, because the focus, you have to have focus, and you have to have time to concentrate on one thing at a time and have that success.
And that's a big problem. Yeah. Like, some people listen to so many podcasts and so many things and so many webinars. It's easy to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I've stopped doing that because it's just too much.
Yeah.
And because they are all great ideas. A lot of them are anyway. I shouldn't say all are. But there's a lot of great things you could do to grow your business. But if you're doing them all, you're not going anywhere. You're just going in circles. So the focus has really been huge, just one thing at a time.
Well, what would be a third thing that you think you did, Jeanette? Just one more tip, just, something actionable that anyone can do to kind of move their business forward, like on a daily basis.
Yeah, I did something every single day. So even if I was sick, no matter what, I did one thing for my business every single day. So, and I made a plan ahead of time. And then on top of that, I made sure I had fun every day. So it's easy to get all work. I think when you're all work, you're not as productive. You need that downtime, because your brain will figure it out in that downtime. So go for a walk, have fun with your kids, go to the park, enjoy life in the moments too, because that, to me, I was, in October when it started dipping a little bit, I always found myself just wanting to sit at the computer all the time and work all the time. Well, I wasn't as productive. I wasn't happy. My kids weren't happy, so I had to really learn that one the hard way.
Yeah.
But enjoying life makes you, then when you do sit down, you've got 2 hours to get it done. You'll get it done in 2 hours, or you'll get it done in 6 hours.
For sure.
But, so.
That's why we always put the moments on our calendar first, even when we were building our business. We made that non-negotiable time, because if you work so much, even in the beginning, when everybody's telling you to hustle and grind and work 90 hours, if you do that, you're going to forget why you're doing it. And if you forget why, you're going to fail. So, you can't do that.
Yeah, if I could go back, I would tell anybody to do that, especially, like, everybody thinks, as soon as I quit, I'm just going to be so happy. And I remember going to Tampa, and you're like, how you doing? You adjusting? And I'm like, my head's spinning. No, not yet. Like, you're so used to working that 40, 50, 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
that it's like you almost feel guilty if you're not sitting right in front of the computer from that. And I had to really break away and be really purposeful with that. But then I was so much more productive.
I remember sending you a message one time. I think it was right after Tampa. I remember telling you, like, I don't want to see you for 3 days. Like, I remember saying something to you like, quit, stop. You've done great. Go out to dinner. Go out of town. I'll see you Monday, you know, because you were just like, what's next? 7 days a week? And I'm like, you quit your job. There's a reason. You know what I mean? Let's start taking over your life.
Yes. And I'm much better now, and I don't think I'm less productive.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I get just as much done in half the time, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we always, we're getting close to our time being up here, but, before we do that, and like as we wind down a little bit, we want to talk to you about some of your can't miss moments. Like, what are your favorite ones from the last
what is life like now? I think that's what you don't hear a lot of people say. Well, everybody tries to say beach and Bali and all that stuff, but like, what's real life look like on the other side of quitting the 9 to 5 for you?
It means that doctor's appointments aren't every evening, and I am making dinner, and we are healthier. It means that when my cousin has a wedding and my daughter's chosen to be the flower girl, I can leave on Thursday or Wednesday night even. I think I texted you actually that day and said, I'm out of here.
You did. I remember that. It was awesome. Yep.
It was so fun just to spoil my daughter, and we went out for pedicures, and it's like before it would have been such a hassle to leave work and sub-plans, and I would have been worried. There was none of that going on. It was fabulous. We went and got pedicures. My daughter's 8. She's at that fun age where I'm just trying to soak her all up. We went and got a hotel for a couple days and just really enjoyed that time without any of the stress. It was just fabulous. But that's the biggest thing. I love being able to take off. My mom spent some time with my mom last week for Mother's Day and took off on a Thursday and came back Friday. Yeah. No big deal. Took her out to dinner. We did the whole shopping thing, and it's the freedom. It's I'm not locked in. I'm not ripping my kids out of bed at 6:30 or 6 o'clock to be at daycare by 6:30. They sleep till 7:45, and then I get them up, and that means we have quality time as a family in the evenings because they're not exhausted.
For sure.
So and they're not as sick because they're not as exhausted.
What do your kids think? Like now that mom's at home and got her business, and like what do they like? Have they commented on that any? Have they noticed that? Like I know Isaac and Anna do. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, they totally notice. And my 15-year-old loves to call me from school. Mom, I forgot my flute today. Can you? She just
and you can take it if you have to, right?
And, yes, and she now has band first hour, so if she forgets it, she's out of luck, and she gets the natural consequences. And maybe I do enable them a little bit, but I've not ever been able to do that for my children.
Yeah.
So just to be able to do those little things for my kiddos. When they're sick, they call. Even my 18-year-old called the other day, not too long ago. I'm not feeling well. Can you come get me?
That's
absolutely.
Awesome.
Where from school, that would have been such a hassle.
Oh, yeah.
My 8-year-old thinks I stay home just so that they can ride the bus in the morning.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Remember when you had to go to work and we had to take the Milestones bus, but now you're home so that's what she said to me just this morning, so that we can ride the bus in the morning.
That's awesome. And you're there when they get home too. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing on earth is walking down to the bus stop at 3. Like that's just like Isaac is so happy. Anna Joe gets out a little bit earlier for preschool, but like Isaac gets off the bus and he's just I see him in the window looking out as he's driving up to the bus stop, and he just gets this big smile, and I'm just like, you know what? Good day, bad day, I don't care. This is totally worth it.
It's all good now.
That's right.
Yeah, Connor gets off the bus, and same age as I think they would have so much fun.
That's awesome. We're going to have to come to Michigan and let them play. That's just going to happen. Live event in Michigan, and after party at Jeanette's backyard. That's what we're going to do. Okay?
Oh, it'd be fun. We've got a barn and a trampoline.
There you go. That's all we need. Well, listen, we are totally proud of you so much. Yeah, we're out of time. We're going to have to wrap this up. I wish we could sit there and talk for hours. But it's just amazing. You are the example that we point to. We don't like to point to ourselves. We don't want to do that. It's easy for people who teach online business to do that. But like when we see people like you or like Evan Burst or like Brad Barrett and just all these people in our communities that are doing just amazing things and have quit their jobs and lives are changed, kids' futures are changed. It just like makes us really emotional because it's just awesome watching people listen and take action, because that's really all it is it's not even our plan. It's not anyone else's plan. It's just pick a plan and do it until it works. And that's what you did. And we're just really grateful that our paths crossed and that we met you and that you did this. I mean, you do inspire us so much every day. Any day I don't feel like working on something, I'm just like, I bet Jeanette's working. I'm going to get to work.
Yeah, I mean, even today, like, we've not had the greatest day for a variety of reasons.
And nothing has worked today, technology-wise. So.
Yeah, and, like, this has just really changed my outlook on the day. So, I mean, thank you for just being here and taking action and making things happen. And more importantly, just making your life better and your family's life better. I mean, that's why we're here.
Well, thank you so much. It means the world to me. It's changed our lives, so it's fabulous.
All right. Thanks, Jeanette.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that wraps up another call with one of our Flip Your Life community members. If you'd like to become a member of our Flip Your Life community, head over to fliplifestyle.com/flipyourlife, and we can help you with your online business as well. Before we go today, we like to close every show with a verse from the Bible. Today's Bible verse comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 19. The Bible says, "Be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. This is the will of God for your life." That's all the time we have for this week. As always, guys, thanks for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. And until next time, get out there, take action, do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.